Right now, as you watch this video, Iran is looking at a map, not a classified map locked in a military bunker, a public map, published openly for the world to see, showing exactly where the cables that carry your internet, your banking app, your hospital records, and every financial transaction you've ever made online are lying on the floor of the ocean. And Iran is telling the world, we know where they are. If you've never heard of submarine cables before, you are about to understand why every government on Earth is terrified right now. Stay with us, because this story changes everything you thought you knew about how the modern world actually works. Most people assume the internet is wireless. Satellites, towers, signals bouncing through the air. That assumption is wrong. And the people who want to exploit that gap in your understanding are counting on it. 97% of all international data traffic, every email, every bank wire, every cloud backup, every government communication between continents, travels through physical cables made of glass fibers thinner than a human hair, lying on the seafloor at depths that can exceed 8,000 meters. There are approximately 550 active submarine cable systems crossing the world's oceans right now. Satellites carry less than 1% of international data. There is no technological backup that replaces these cables at global scale. When multiple cables in the same corridor are cut simultaneously, entire regions go dark. Not slowly, not partially, immediately. Keep watching, because what Iran just did with that knowledge is something no country has done openly in the history of this conflict. Iran's IRGC did not whisper this threat through back channels. They published it. Through Tasnim news agency, the official mouthpiece of Iran's Revolutionary Guard, they released a detailed public map identifying 7 submarine cables running through the Strait of Hormuz. Named, depth-mapped, geographically coordinated, connected country by country. This is not journalism. This is targeting intelligence published in plain sight. The map identifies the precise infrastructure that powers the UAE, Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, and Saudi Arabia. Economies where over 90% of internet, banking, and cloud services depend on those exact cables. Dubai's financial markets, Bahrain's AWS, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud infrastructure for the entire Gulf region. Qatar's sovereign wealth fund systems, all of it, running through cables that Iran just told the world it knows how to find. And here is the detail that should stop you cold. Iran only depends on those same cables for 40% of its own internet capability. It has already built alternative routing north through Russia and east through Central Asia, developed deliberately over years of sanctions. Iran ran the asymmetric calculation. Cutting those cables costs Iran 40% of its internet temporarily. It costs its enemies 90% of their digital infrastructure immediately. No missile, no aircraft, no conventional military asset required. This threat did not arrive from nowhere. It is Iran's direct response to a specific sequence of escalations that unfolded this week. Trump ordered the United States Navy to shoot and kill any boat laying mines in the Strait. No hesitation, published on Truth Social Thursday morning, after being briefed on intelligence that the IRGC had laid new mines in the waterway. Iran's answer was not to stop laying mines. Iran's answer was to publish a map of undersea internet cables. The escalation ladder has a brutal logic to it. Trump bombs from the air. Iran closes the sea. Trump blockades the sea. Iran lays mines. Trump orders mine layers killed. Iran threatens to cut the cables under the sea. Every American action targets a visible Iranian capability. Every Iranian response moves into a domain where offensive action is accessible to Iran, and defensive action is extraordinarily difficult for the United States, because you cannot station a warship next to a cable on the seafloor at 8,000 meters. And there is a legal gap in Trump's shoot-to-kill order that the IRGC has already identified. The order explicitly targets mine-laying boats. It does not explicitly cover cable-cutting boats. A small vessel operating at night with an underwater drone is not visibly distinguishable from a fishing boat until the cable has already been cut. The Pentagon has told Congress something that makes this threat dramatically more alarming. Clearing the mines Iran has already deployed in the Strait could take up to 6 months. Not days, not weeks. 6 months. And that assessment will not change regardless of how many minesweepers are deployed, because the physical reality of the Strait does not bend to Truth Social posts. While Trump told the public the Strait is sealed up tight and under total U.S. control, his own Pentagon briefed congressional committees that the physical hazard from Iranian mines will not be resolved for up to 6 months. Iran read both statements. The cable threat is Iran saying, "You cannot clear the mines in 6 months, and while you try, we can introduce new threats faster than you can neutralize the old ones." The financial institutions exposed to this are not just Gulf banks. JP Morgan Chase, Goldman Sachs, HSBC, Deutsche Bank, the Singapore Exchange, London's financial markets, all carry operational dependencies on Gulf data routing. A disruption to the 7 cables Iran has mapped would not produce a clean regional outage. It would produce a cascading failure through the interconnected global financial system in ways that no single government has fully modeled, because this scenario has never occurred at this scale. You cannot bomb a financial market back into existence. You cannot rebuild cloud infrastructure in hours. This is an economic weapon of mass destruction delivered without a single missile fired. One number captures what the Strait closure is already costing the global economy in a way oil prices alone cannot show. One LNG tanker paid $4 million this week. A single ship, a single voyage, just to skip the queue at the Panama Canal. $4 million because the route that tanker would have preferred, through the Strait of Hormuz, is physically inaccessible due to mines, Iranian seizures, and the U.S. naval blockade. Every LNG carrier and oil tanker that used to transit Hormuz is now rerouting through the Cape of Good Hope or fighting for position at Panama, adding weeks to transit times and costs that land in the price of every product in every country that depends on that energy. Meanwhile, the Pentagon confirmed Thursday that the U.S. military seized the Majestic X, an Iranian oil tanker in the Indian Ocean, not the Persian Gulf, not the Gulf of Oman, but the Indian Ocean. American warships are now boarding vessels in international waters thousands of miles from the Strait based on the cargo they carry, not the port they are heading to. Every tanker on every ocean carrying Iranian crude oil is now a potential interdiction target, regardless of where it sails. Iran's cable threat is its direct response to that expansion. If America asserts the right to interdict Iranian commerce anywhere on the ocean, Iran asserts the right to threaten the infrastructure of American allies anywhere in the waters it can reach. Here is the detail that explains why none of this is stopping, despite the economic devastation Iran is absorbing. Iran's economy is losing $500 million every day the blockade holds. Its oil storage at Karg Island is approaching capacity. Its military is reportedly not being fully paid. Its supreme leader is hidden and reported to be in severe condition. Its government is, in Trump's own words, seriously fractured. And yet the IRGC laid new mines after being told its mine layers would be killed. It published a cable map after being blockaded. It seized commercial ships during a ceasefire it publicly called violated. The Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesman posted on the day Trump's kill order was published. "We salute the noble defenders and guardians of the homeland and honor the memory of the crimson-shrouded martyrs of the IRGC." That statement was not accidental. It was communication to every IRGC soldier in the Strait that dying while laying mines is not a defeat. It is consecrated by the state as an act of religious and patriotic honor. Trump's shoot and kill order operates on the deterrent logic that actors want to avoid death. That logic works less cleanly on an organization that has already framed death in this mission as martyrdom. Energy analyst Bob McNally said Iran is ready to eat grass for 6 months to maintain its chokehold. The cable map published by Tasnim this week is Iran saying, "The grass we are willing to eat comes with the ability to turn off the lights for everyone else at the table." The cable threat published through Tasnim this week is the single most consequential Iranian escalation since this war began. Not because it is military, but because it is the first Iranian threat in this conflict that would affect every person on Earth with a phone, a bank account, or an internet connection, regardless of any relationship to oil, shipping, or the Middle East. With Iran having mapped 7 undersea cables through the Strait of Hormuz and the Pentagon confirming mine clearing takes 6 months, drop your answer in the comments right now. Do you believe the IRGC actually cuts the cables when the negotiating deadline expires this weekend? Or is this map a pressure tactic designed to force America to lift the blockade before any deal is signed? We analyze this conflict daily, and the next update is already being prepared. If you want to stay ahead of every move in this story before the rest of the world catches up, subscribe. It takes 1 second, and right now 1 second might be the most important thing you do today.